you're all well. If you're new around here, then hello, it is nice to meet you, and if you are returning, thank you very fucking much for coming back. My name is Alana and I'm a 35-year-old lady living in Scotland, and that is where the accent is from. And on this channel we predominantly talk all things beauty, hair care, lifestyle, skincare, travelly, bloggery, vloggery bullshit, but with a liberal sprinkling of sarcasm and cynicism thrown in on top. Now if that sounds like your kind of thing, there's a subscription button in the corner there. Give the video a little thumbs up, all that kind of YouTuber bullshit. Let's just get that out the way. Now this video is going to be my roundup of all things makeup in 2022. I have already done my skincare one, it'll be up here in the corner, and I have to say it is substantially shorter than last year and a very short video for me. If you're not into long form content, then this might not be the place for you, because this video is going to be lengthy. I feel like in 2022 I have been through so much makeup and I have got so much to talk about. I watched my video from last year and I think there is a good few things that have changed throughout the year. There is still a few old favourites skipping back in. This is maybe their third, fourth year in a row, but there are quite a few new favourites, and I feel like even my style of makeup this year has changed so much differently. I was watching last year's video and I was like, I would never wear matte foundation, I hate this, I hate that. And actually this year I have like delved into quite a few matte medium coverage foundations. So if that sounds like your kind of thing and you really want to hear all about all the things I've been really loving in 2022, then just keep on watching. Alright, so it is the season to be festive. Grab yourself a Baileys, that's what I have. This is the stuff I've pretty much been running on since Christmas Day. I fucking love this stuff. Just me? No. I think everybody fucking loves this. It's just like pudding in a glass. It's so good. Also, just before we get started, are you someone that after Christmas takes down their tree straight away? Tell me. I am not. Obviously this is just a mini tree, but I really like my tree being up for New Year's. Like, do you not like it? I see people all the time, like including one of my really good friends, and it'll be like, Boxing Day, tree is down. And I'm like, just makes me so sad. I suppose if you're one of those people that has the tree up from like fucking October, you might be sick of it by Boxing Day, but I don't put my tree up that early. So we're going to work through this in kind of order of the same last year. I'm going to put the video up from last year if you haven't already seen it, so you can go and check it out, because as I said already, there are a few differences here. So I started off with primers last year, and I have to say I haven't really used a primer that much this year. It hasn't been something that I've reached for very often. I'm gonna still say the Glossier Future Dew. Now this is just a mini one. Last year I had a full size one, but I never managed to finish it, so it got a little bit funny, smelled a bit funky. So I decided to get the smaller size on Black Friday this year. Now I still really enjoy this. I think it's a really nice option, especially if you don't really want too much on your skin and you don't want heavy coverage foundation, which in the summer months I would never ever really do. But I'm still gonna throw this in this year. But otherwise, I really haven't been using a primer. This one is skipped in at the end of the year. This is the Vive Skin Nova. I have to say this, I've only just started using over the last 3 weeks, the last month, and I think it's okay, but it's not one that I'm like, do you know what, I'm going to go and buy the full size of it. So just for your word of warning there. But I do love Glossier Future Dew. I will continue to use it, probably as a primer or in the summer months on its own. But I really haven't been using a load of primers in the past year. For that reason, I'm going to give these two a little honourable mention, both budget beauty brands. I say budget beauty, but they're just affordable beauty in the drugstore, to be honest with you. This is the Rimmel London Kind and Free, and it says it's a moisturising skin tint foundation. I would definitely say this is much more of a tinted moisturiser. It is not as light as a skin tint. I would say this is much more coverage than that, but it also isn't as heavy coverage as a foundation. So it is right in the middle there, but I definitely wouldn't say this is just a tinted moisturiser or a skin tint. So the fact that it's got foundation at the end there, I kind of get why, because it does have a little bit more coverage. And this one here from 17, this is the Glow Is Everything CC Cream. This does have a little bit of coverage as well. I did do a reel of this over on Instagram if you haven't seen it already, and I'm pretty sure I used it in my Full Face Friday of Everything 17 cosmetic. I think if you're someone who has oily skin, this probably won't be for you. It is very glowy, very dewy on the skin, but as we all know, I fucking love that shit. For me, this was a real winner in the summer, but during the winter months I haven't reached for it as much. But again, very affordable, and I feel like these ones are the kind of things I would go to on a day-to-day if I don't want too much, but in the winter months that kind of changed. And in the summer months, I'm also going to mention this. This is from Chanel. It's Chanel Le Beige. This is the Freshwater Skin Tint. This is definitely a skin tint. This has no coverage. It is just a tint on the skin. So it's giving you a little bit of a change of colour to the skin, but there is no coverage. And I have to say, in the summer months, I absolutely fucking love this. I got a sample size of this and then went and purchased the full size because I enjoyed it that much. I thought it was really, really nice. I took it on holiday with me. I just think it's a lovely, lovely product, and I kind of get the hype around it now. It's expensive, but I do really, really enjoy it, and I will reach for it again in the summer months. Moving on to kind of, I suppose, what you would call hybrid foundations. This here from e.l.f. is the Halo Glow Hollywood, no, not Hollywood, that's the other fucker, isn't it? Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the dupe of that. It's the liquid filter, Halo Glow liquid filter from e.l.f. I think this is lovely. There is a little bit more coverage to this than the Charlotte Tilbury. It is a lot cheaper than the Charlotte Tilbury, but I really like the finish of this. There has been days where, you know, in the winter months I don't want full coverage, but I also don't want to go with nothing at all. Like, I don't want something as light as this. So I could wear something like a tinted moisturiser, but I really like just wearing this on its own as well. I actually think it gives the skin a beautiful glow. A lot of people were saying that this one isn't quite as dewy as the Charlotte Tilbury one. I would second that. It's not got quite as much glow to it, but what I will say is it definitely has more coverage. So it really depends, swings and roundabouts. So what I've really been enjoying using this for is mixing it with other things to make it more wearable. Like, for instance, this one on its own, very, very nice, very beautiful, but I don't feel it has a super duper dewy element to it. So pop of this on the tops of the cheeks here, use this in other areas. As you know, I'm like a little bit of a patchwork situation when I use a foundation or a base. So these together, very, very nice. Now, throughout the autumn and winter months, I have been using these two together, or the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter and this together, which is the It Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Cream. This is not new to me. I've used it years ago and I've just kind of fell in love with it this year again. I won a competition from It Cosmetics and they sent me another few of these, and I have to say, I instantly remembered why I loved it years ago. I think it is just a beautiful product. I don't think it even really matters if you do have oily skin. Maybe you would disagree with me on that one. But as me with kind of combination leaning to dry skin, I love this product. But I also feel like it's a very perfecting product. And I'm not usually a person who's like, I want to look flawless and airbrushed and filtered. And that is not usually a look I go for. But see, when I wear this, I'm like, oh, skin just looks fucking fantastic. And I really, really enjoy this product. I think it is just so beautiful, but still looks like skin. Doesn't look like you're wearing obvious foundation. It does look like you're wearing makeup, but it doesn't look like you're wearing a cakey, heavy foundation. It just makes your skin look really beautiful, and I absolutely love it. And as I said, very different from me, but last year I really enjoyed the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Foundation. This is the matte one, the soft matte one. Now, honestly, last year I was like, pick your jaw up off the floor. I actually like a Fenty product. Pick your jaw up off the floor. I'm really enjoying this matte foundation. It actually has kind of been my gateway drug into matte foundations, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it. I will pair it with things like this quite frequently because I still like that little bit of glow, and I will use a little bit of a patchwork element to put it on. But I have to say, this is a satin finish. This is not matte and flat. It's definitely still leaving a gorgeous glow to the skin, and I just think it's gorgeous. I think it's so, so nice. I totally get the hype around Fenty base products now. It's probably what they do best. It's what they're famous for. It's what they're known for, and I have to say, I get it now. I absolutely get it. Oh, that was the last of my bottle. I need to buy another one. Moving on to concealers now. I am again going to say Glossier Stretch. Now, last year I didn't even have a Glossier Stretch open to show you, and this year I've got two open to show you. So I've got G11 and G10. I've been using these kind of in conjunction with each other throughout the year since about August. I had G11 anyway, and then I picked up G10, and I just love it. I love it. It's still my favourite concealer, my favourite consistency of concealer. As I've moved into the winter months and went on to matte foundations a little bit more, or satin foundations a little bit more, I have used some other stuff, and I am going to say again this year, the Shiseido Synchro Skin Concealer. It is actually in my empties box at the moment because I have used it up completely. I fucking love that stuff. I think as far as classic doe foot concealers go, that one has to be up there. It's easily my favourite. I probably will pick another one up. I got a little Boots voucher for Christmas and I think that's what it's going to be spent on. But I do have a few honourable mentions here as well. Now the Stay Woke concealer from Oma Beauty. This was sent to me in PR, but I have to say I had seen this spoke about quite a lot. It is again a classic doe foot style concealer and I kind of was like, oh, I bet you I'm not. This is really nice. This is probably akin to that of the Shiseido. Like, it doesn't make you feel crepey under here. It's not too heavy or cakey, and sometimes that's why I don't like that style of a concealer. This one is not like that. It almost stretches when you're using it, which is the same reason why I really like the Shiseido. We then have the Vive Modern Radiance concealer. I briefly spoke about this in a Get Ready With Me recently. I don't even really think I gave it too much because the Get Ready With Me wasn't really a tutorial, it was just doing little questions. I'll put that video up here if you want to go and see it. It is the Unpopular Opinions makeup tag. It'll be there. So I never really gave it a proper review. Now I have had this now for 3 weeks, is that right? I picked it up at the pop-up on the last week of the pop-up, the 12th of December. So not even 3 weeks. It is currently, as I film this, the 28th of December. So not even 3 weeks. But what I will say is on first application, I was a little like, oh, this is what I thought. This is heavy. This is not going to sit well with me. This is just a little too much full coverage for me. And initially I was like, I'm just going to put it out there. I don't know if this is for me. Then I used it a few times more and I have been using it almost regularly every day whenever I've had makeup on over the last few weeks. And again, putting it on the back of my hand, buffing it into a brush first and going lightly is what I've got on today. It's actually quite nice. It actually sits really well. I found it's not creased in the lines under here. I found it's not made my eyes look papery under there either. The first time I put it on, I don't know if I just went on a bit too heavy because it did crease in here. And I'm not someone to powder or bake, so I'm never going to set that area. And usually that's why I like the likes of Glossy Stretch, because you can tend to just tap and everything goes back into itself. And if it's a concealer that's a little bit more like this, then sometimes if it creases under there, it just looks fucking horrendous. This did crease under my eyes the first time I used it, but with a lighter hand, I actually find it sits really well. Let me just zoom you in, because this has now been on my face for 3 hours, I want to say. So the concealer is what I've got on today. I don't actually have any foundation on today. It's just that concealer in the areas where I felt I needed it. And so it's under my eyes here, and honest to God, there's no creasing, no creping, nothing like that. I find that when I smile, there is a little bit, like, you know, there's lines there. That's what's gonna happen. I'm fucking 35 now. 36 in January. I don't know. Anyway, so there are gonna be these areas, but I don't feel that it accentuates them. I don't feel like even at the slightest cackle or smile or anything like that, I'm like, oh my God, look at me. I'm like a fucking Sahara Desert under there. I think it still keeps things quite radiant. It's fairly light. I'm enjoying it. And round about these areas as well, I think it does a really good job of coverage. So after a few uses and kind of making it work for me, I actually think it's a very nice concealer. What I will say is though, unlike the Glossy and the Shiseido that I know for a fact, like the Glossy I've bought loads over the years. I think I've bought 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stretch concealers over the years. The Shiseido one I am going to buy another one of because I just enjoyed it so much over the last couple of years. I can't believe I enjoyed that style of a concealer that much. The Vive one, will I rush to buy another one when it's finished? No, because I think there'll be something else at the time that I want to try, and it just didn't win my heart, but it is a nice product now that I've got it to work for me, so I thought I would throw that in there too. Now bronzers, there's not going to be too much change from last year. I am still raving about the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Here it is right here. This is a new one. I got through a whole pan of one earlier this year, and the Vive Modern Bronzer as well. I have to say I've also panned this one. Do you know what I found out though that's a little bit fucking annoying? There's always little things with Vive. Like, I fucking love Vive. I love Jamie Genevieve. I've always watched her. I think the products are really good from them. Some are a little bit hit and miss, not really for me. But on the whole, I think as a brand, as you will see as we go through this, I've got loads more Vive stuff. I think they're fantastic. But they brought these out as pop-outs, right? So in the back here, a bit like Natasha Denona palettes, you can stick a pin in the back and pop out that bronzer so you can mix and match them. Fine. But the blushes aren't pop-out, and I feel like they still need to, I've been saying it for years, they still need to make it able so that you can transfer the blushes and the bronzer. They should be interchangeable, because if you're going to want to take something away with you, it's probably going to be a blush and a bronzer. I'm not always going to need 2 shades of a bronzer. And then so I kind of thought, oh, why have they bothered to just like pop these out? And I thought, well, it's quite a good thing, because once you're finished with one, you can just buy a single and pop it in there. They sell them in doubles. So if you are light one, like me, and you've panned this one and not that one, you still have to buy both of them to get this one again. That's just shite, Vive. You should sell them individually. And I do not want to buy another doubler of the light set just to get this one when I haven't used up the other. Like, it doesn't make any sense the way you're doing it. That's the only gripe I have about them, because the bronzers are fucking fantastic. I highly recommend them. But unless you're going to get through the 2 of them or frequently use both of them, the way they're selling them doesn't make any sense. It seems like a really good, economical and kind of eco-friendly idea. You can pop these out and just keep the component and get new pans. Doesn't work though if you're needing to buy pans you don't fucking need. Just saying. Now, cream bronzers, I don't think I mentioned any last year. I actually don't. Even though I own quite a few of them, I don't think I mentioned any. I'm going to mention this one from Pearl Beauty. It was one that I used over and over again in the summer. If you're a lover of the likes of like the Chanel Le Beige, whatever the fuck it's called, their bronzer, the cream bronzer, it's a little bit like that. Like, it's like a solid cream bronzer, as you can see there. And I have to say, in the summer months, I've reached for this constantly. I thought it was a really, really beautiful product. Now, moving on to highlighters really quickly, because I feel like I'll get through these a lot quicker than the blushes, because I am insane for blush. So first of all, I'm also going to mention again this year is the Space Age Prophecy highlighter from Kaleidos. That is it there. Doesn't look like much in the pan, but it's one of those multi-chrome, changes to a million different colours, suits every skin tone, absolute gorgeousness in a pan. Sometimes I'll use it as an eyeshadow as well. It's just perfection. Absolutely gorgeous. If you are going to pick up a highlighter from Kaleidos, I would say this one is perfect. The Vive Skin Dew, mentioned this last year as well. I still love this stuff. It's what I've got today. Actually, today what I've got is a full face of Vive, I'm not going to lie. This is fantastic stuff. I really, really enjoy this. This is the sweaty glow that I fucking adore. So I would always recommend this. But if you're someone that doesn't like dewy, doesn't like sticky, doesn't like that kind of sweaty glow, then you are not going to enjoy this. I'm not going to say that it's the best thing in the world and everybody needs to buy it. But if you're like me, you'll really enjoy it. And if you're someone who just much prefers a powder highlighter or prefers things to be a little bit more matte, then you're not going to enjoy it. Just putting it out there. Dandelion Twinkle, again, one that I have heavily mentioned throughout videos this year, and one that really caught me off guard. I did not think anything of this when I purchased it. I purchased it sheerly out of nosiness, because I'd seen other people speaking about it. It is not a new highlighter, but I just kept seeing people mentioning it. I was like, let me give a little go of that. I'm going to say this is absolutely beautiful. This is just such a subtle hint of, it's kind of goldy, kind of pinky. It's never going to be a full-on, like, you know, like the Kaleidos one. It's never going to be madness like that. It's not going to be like the Vive Skin Dew. It is almost like what Hourglass used to do with the ambient light. Used to do, they still do it. I just don't buy them. The ambient lighting powder from Hourglass. This is my kind of replacement for that since I stopped buying Hourglass products. And I think it is beautiful. I've used it so much. I've actually made a dent in it, because you know how the Benefit products are like a little bit domed? It's definitely like going in the way I have used it that much. Now, blushes. I am a sucker for blush. Blushes and lipsticks are my vice, I would say. Probably, definitely my vice. So, this is going to be quite a big category. I am going to say again, glossy cloud paints. They have been some of my favourites for years and I adore them. I still think to this day they are some of the best blushers or cream liquid blushers that you can try. The Nessamyrics, I mentioned them last year, the Vision Flushes as well. Equally, don't think I'm going to go off of them. But this year, I would say I didn't really reach for the Nessa ones as much. I reached for them a little bit, and I remember even talking about them recently and I was like, why does nobody talk about these anymore? They're so fucking good. They are really, really nice. But this year, I have not reached for them as much as other things. But the glossy cloud paints, as you can see, my Dawn, is it Dawn? Dusk, sorry. My Dusk is actually very, very well used. Another cream blush that you've probably heard me talk about until the cows come home are the Pinch Pots from Spectrum. And I stand by it. This is probably, is this the second year I've been using them or the third year? I can't even remember. I feel like I discovered them in 2020. And I just think they're fucking glorious. I don't even think I mentioned them last year, but they deserved a mention, so I'm saying them this year. They are fantastic and they are still available on Spectrum. I do have a code with Spectrum if you wish to use it. It'll be on the screen somewhere at the moment. I also loved the e.l.f. Luminous Pretty Blushes. I have the one in Isla de Sol, I want to say. It's a really beautiful orange shade. fucking lovely. The original putty blushes are okay, I like them, but it was never one that grabbed my attention. But what I will say is the luminous ones in the summer, fucking gorgeous. I haven't bought any of the deeper shades. I feel like if I had, then maybe I would have been like, you know what, in the winter months too. But because this is such a beautiful summery colour, this is the one. I fell in love with this one. It's so, so good. And what I'm going to mention as well is something that I actually got in PR quite recently, and it is the Oma by Sharon C range, because I feel like these are really, really close dupes to the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush. I think these are better though. I think the e.l.f. Luminous Putty Blush, I fell in love over the summer, thought was amazing. I then tried these and I was like, oh, they're kind of similar. They've got a little bit of luminosity to them. They're a cream blush. They're not too pigmented, but there's still enough colour there. They go on like a dream. They blend like a dream. They are beautiful. But I would say that I just like these ones a little bit better. I don't know if it's like the components, just the way they're marketed. I just feel like this one here, which is probably my favourite, this one is Audacity. It kind of looks like a bit of a neutral, like brown pink colour. It goes on so, so beautifully. It is absolutely stunning, this colour as a blush. Hold on, can I swatch it? I have already swatched these and used them in other videos, so if you want to go check them out, I'll pop them up in the corner. And this one here is called Bougie AF. This is like a nice coral colour with an obvious gold shimmer in it. I feel like Audacity doesn't have the same obvious sheen. As you can see, Bougie AF is on the bottom there, and it's like proper sheeny, golden, you can see. This one doesn't have that, but there is definitely still a luminous element to this one. They are gorgeous blushers. Thoroughly enjoying them, even though they came into my life, you know, just, what was it, like November-ish. Oh, they are so, so good. And the last one in a kind of cream liquid blush is this from 17, and it is their cream blush. It does have a little bit of glow to it, I would say, as well, but the reason I'm throwing this in, if you're looking for a budget option, let's just say for saying sake, you've always wanted to try a liquid blush, but you don't want to shell out on the likes of a Glossier or a Rare Beauty or something like that that's much more expensive. Why don't you try one of these? They're like £2 to £4. Again, it depends when you get them in offer and if the advantage card points, all that kind of stuff. But they are so pigmented. They blend beautifully. For what they are, for the price range, I was really impressed with these. I thought they were so lovely. Now, lastly, our powder blushes. I only have one to mention, and it is the Vive powder blushes. As I said, full face of Vive, what can I say? I am a fucking fan. This one is Malbec, which is my most recent purchase from them, but I also have Sorbet as well, I want to say, which I'll wear a lot in the summer. It's beautiful. Their blushes are beautiful. They're very pigmented. One like this, for instance, I need to go with a very light hand, but the other one I can go a little bit more ham on. I've got this on today and I don't think it looks like as if I've got super duper plum cheeks. You can do it, build it up, or you can just leave it so it's a little bit more natural, flush a colour. These blushes are absolutely beautiful. I really hope she comes out with more colours in the blush range, because at the moment I don't think there's any others that I would really want to pick up. Now, I did tell you this was going to be a long video, so if you finished your drink already, go and get yourself another one. Now, eyeshadows. I feel like this year, I don't actually think, like, I haven't bought a large palette this year. Like, you know, like a big, kind of 10, 20, whatever size palette this year. I haven't. I've bought a few small palettes, but I haven't picked up loads of palettes. I feel like the year before, I bought loads and loads of colour palettes. I had, like, Pat McGrath, I'd bought, like, Kaleidos, all this kind of stuff. I feel this year I really haven't picked up a lot of eyeshadow stuff. But what I have picked up is more like singles to change the eyeshadows that I've got. I am still really enjoying the Danessa Myricks Colour Fix. I'm still really enjoying all of my kind of crayons, because these things last a long time. Like, I'm never going to get through all of that stuff. So these are the things that I use in conjunction with palettes and just make slightly different looks, you know? And I'm not saying that I make wonderfully different looks every time. I have a certain style, I have a certain thing that I like, but it's just easier to do that. I've not felt like I've seen a palette this year that I've thought, I need to own that. There's nothing that's been released that has been a colour story or from, tell I, the Lisa Eldridge palettes, the green one. Sorcery, was it? I desperately wanted that, but it sold out super quickly. I did say to Alan, listen, if you want to get me something for Christmas, that's one right here. And he said it was sold out too, so I couldn't get that for you. I'm really sorry, very apologetic about it, which is fine, you know. That was probably the only palette that I seen this year that I thought I would like to own that. Everything else, I was a bit like, meh. So, I'm going to show you the ones I picked up this year, the glossy monochromes. I've spoke about these on the channel before. This is in Mesa, which is the orange one fucking stunning. But I feel like these still aren't like palettes. It's just 3 shadows. It's like you can create looks with it, but you're not going to get loads of different looks. So I use these as kind of in conjunction with other things and other palettes, but I do think these shadows are absolutely phenomenal. So much so that I did ask for another one for Christmas, and I got this one bought for me, which is Prairie. Now I haven't used this one yet. I am going to do a video. I'll probably do another look with it. This is the more kind of khaki gold one, I would say, and I'm not sure. I wanted to buy another one because I wanted to see if in different colors the quality was going to be just as good as the one from Mesa. So I picked up this one. I thought, you know, khaki green, very me. I will let you know in future videos how I get on with that, but I really did enjoy them. It's just more like these I wouldn't count as huge palettes. They're just 3 shadows. Again, throwing in that budget option there. I have only got this one from 17, which is the Reds palette. I know they do lots of other shades, so I can't speak for what the quality is like on the other palettes, but I have to say, if you can get your hands on this, full price it's a £5, and as I said already, if you get Advantage card price on it, or it's on an offer or something for £2, £3, fucking buy it if you're into this colour story, obviously. I would suggest, like, if you're new to makeup, if you're not sure what to do, like I said already, if you don't want to try a liquid blush at a high price, try one at a lower price. If you're new to makeup, don't go buying the Lisa Eldridge red palette. Not that she had a red palette, but you know what I mean. Don't go buying that one that costs you like fucking 80 odd quid, or Tom Ford at £70 for a quad. Buy one that you think, do you know what, am I going to use that? Am I going to, these colours, am I going to suit, is it just a trend thing? Buy that at a cheaper price, see how you go. These are great quality. They're very, very good. Now the only 2 large palettes that I can really give proper shout out to this year are these. The Vive one, I just always have to mention it. I think probably from about September, October it comes out. It probably won't be relegated to my drawer again until March, probably. And even then in March I'll wear the yellow and stuff. Like, I just wear this so often. Today that is what I've got in my eye as well. I've got on like the black. I've got this one, Lava Rock. What's the black one called? Goodnight, Lava Rock, Thea. I've got a little bit of glimmer on as well. And maybe I think I used a little bit of Delicious at some point too. It's just perfection. And if you do like the other colour stories from Vive, then I have to say the shadows are amazing quality. I just feel like with the new palette, the 90s palette, it's too cool toned. I probably won't get enough wear out of it. And with the Muse palette, it's too rosy toned. I probably won't get enough wear out of it. Whereas this is a bit of me. What's also a bit of me, and I think I picked up Black Friday last year, the year before, I can't even remember, is the Wilderness palette from Beauty Bay. I don't know how often I reach into this throughout the year. It's very suitable for like spring, summer, all this kind of stuff, and as I say, if you're using it in conjunction with other things, it's very versatile throughout the year. I think maybe there's not quite enough yellow in it or pinks in it if you're wanting to create that kind of a look, but me, I am a green girl, I am a warm toned girl. That are the things I fucking go to all the time, and maybe a little bit of blue every now and again. So this palette speaks to my fucking soul. It is so affordable. The shadows are fucking brilliant. I do have an affiliate link with Beauty Bay, so if you're thinking of buying through me, it will say down below what is an affiliate link. I only very recently got that, but I fucking urge you to look at these if you're interested in makeup and you're trying to extend your collection, or you're thinking, I need a little bit more colour in my life, because the quality of the shadows is fantastic for the price. You don't have to buy it through my link. Please feel free to just go and Google it and look for yourself. But if you do buy through my link, it will give me a little kickback, and I'll very much appreciate it. Now, can I pick all these up with one hand? Yay! So, Bodyography Glitter Pigments. Again, I have loads of these now. I absolutely adore these. I think the first one I got was Later Skater, which is just grungy goddess goodness to me. It's like gold and black. It's almost like what I've got on my eye today, but just even a little bit nicer. Can I just pop a little bit of this through the middle here? It just gives sparkly amazingness. You're not going to see it over the top of this shadow, but it gives sparkly goodness to your life. You can just use them as a bit of a one and done shadow. They are perfect for that. The darker ones, I would say, go with a little bit of care, because you do get a little bit of fall down, but they are like nothing else that I own. They aren't just an eyeshadow, they are sparkly amazingness. Whenever I have one of these on my eyes, somebody will always, not always, but most of the time, if I'm somewhere in a shop where you're looking at makeup, somebody will always say to me, what have you got on your eyes? It's just so amazing. The other one, like the dark one I've got, is Spectra. That's like the dark blue one. And I also have one, I think it's called, is it Supernova? Hold on, it would be the last one I pick up. Yeah, Supernova. I picked this up in London last year, I want to say. I was pregnant at the time when I picked it up, I remember. And it is like blue, gold, a little bit of kind of green in there as well, like an emerald green. I don't know, like a sea colour? I don't know how to explain it. It's just like if you were a grunge mermaid. That's how I can, like if you were a grunge mermaid. That's how I can explain it to you. Another one that you've probably heard loads of people speak about is Blue Morpho. And the reason everybody speaks about Blue Morpho is because it is just such an interesting colour. You get a lot of duochrome blues, but I always think they kind of lean to that aqua. This is like a periwinkle true, almost purpley blue. It's perfection. It is the most beautiful blue shimmer on the eye. Sometimes I would just wear this with a red lip. And I know that sounds a little 80s and a little out there, but it's fucking beautiful. It is so, so nice. And just while I'm speaking about Blue Morpho, I'm going to throw in this. This is from Rimmel, and again, brilliant budget beauty product. This is their Wonder Swipe, and it is a liner and a shadow. So you can use it as just like a normal kind of liquid liner, like so. But what I like to do with it is like smear it out on top of another look or a blue look. And I am telling you right now, it also has that amazing blue purple kind of shade rather than an aqua. And I think it gives the same kind of look, not identical, but very, very close to what Blue Morpho does as well. Can you see it there? I'm sorry, my swatches are shit. But to be honest with you, for the price of it, for it being a budget brand and something more accessible, fucking fantastic. And just while we're talking about eye products, in here is all of my Glisten cosmetic liners. I do have a code with Glisten as well. I'll stick it on the screen somewhere. It's an affiliate code. But I fucking love these liners. They are so good. I have the bigger one now as well. I've had it for a few years. The one where it's like just kind of neutral shades, to be honest with you. But I find this really useful because I feel like you can make whatever colour you like when you've got this. You can tone it down a bit, you can make it lighter, you can make it darker. There's a grey as well. Fantastic. Another thing that they brought out this year and I was blown away with were the Chroma Flakes. Now a lot of people you maybe heard speak about the Danessa Myricks Chrome Flakes. I think they're just called Chrome Flakes. These ones are called Chroma Flakes. And I have to say, from hearing reviews and speaking to a few friends who have both, I think these are better, but I do not own both, so don't quote me, but just hearing on the grapevine. These are fucking phenomenal. I did a reel over on Instagram of these as well, so you can see the true beauty of them. I'd got the right lighting and all that kind of pish, just to make sure it was really, really gorgeous. I'd done a Halloween look as well, a kind of witchy thing. Stunning. Can you see that? So it's like red, and then it duochromes to like a green. Oh, these are never going to be able to be shown as beautiful as they are in real life, I promise you. Now we've came a long way, but we're nearly there. We're on to lip products. First of all, lip liners. Last year I mentioned Gloss My Heart. Unfortunately, Gloss My Heart are no longer a functioning company, which is really, really sad. I still have them and I still think they're really nice liners, but they don't exist anymore. So I am gonna say my Vive lip liners, which might come as a little bit of a shock because on first impressions I was a bit like, oh, I don't know if I like these. The first one I got was Rumour, and I feel like Rumour was definitely like stiffer on the lip than when I first bought Rouge Rouge. I think Rouge first application went on smoothly, blended out no problem, there was no issues with it. Rumour took a little bit of time to warm up. So I guess it might depend on the one you're getting. And certainly when I tried Rumour for the first time I was a little bit like, oh, this seems like a little stiff, I don't know what's going on. But once I started using it more often, I was like, oh, like as you can see here, that's the full size, and you can see I've definitely, like I've used it. But Rouge Rouge from the get-go was really, really good. So maybe if I got Rouge Rouge first, then I would have felt differently on first impressions. Just a little thing to think about. Another lip liner that I want to mention is this from Rimmel. It's their Lasting Finish lip liner in Spice. And I just feel like as if, you know what, I've got loads of lip liners and stuff, but again, a budget beauty, absolute fucking winner. And it is so, so good, so, so affordable, and a really, really nice colour too. So for lip products, it will also come as no surprise to you that the Vive lip products, the Vive lipsticks, are absolute favourites. I currently have 5 plus one of the Glow lip oils, but I also have a mini of the original Glow lip oil as well. I just fucking love them. I think they're so nice. Today, the one I have on is Lara. It is one of my absolute favourites. Muse is one of my favourites as well. It's the red one. They're just glorious. She bought out some new ones as well, which is in these beautiful gold leopard print packaging. And I got Bite, which is like a deathly black brown. It's just fucking gorgeous. All of them, if you want a suggestion for a nice lipstick, I have to say those are up there. Another brand that I've really fell in love with lipsticks this year has been Gen C. They are a small indie brand. They did send some of these to me in PR, but others I have bought by myself. And I have to say my favourite one at the moment is Naomi. That is like the darker red. They do a beautiful red called Irene as well. I feel like all of their lipsticks at the moment are all much of a muchness, like reds, plums, maybe a little pink in there, but there's not really much else. I'm looking forward to see them branch out into other colours, but I really enjoy these. These are called the Pick Me Up lipsticks, and I've been using them throughout the whole year. Now, coming into a bit more like lip glossy, lip stain type situations, these from e.l.f. These are the glossy lip stains. That's exactly what they're fucking called. And I only have one of them. I have got Spicy Sienna. Is that what it's called? What's it called? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Spicy Sienna. And these are glorious, so comfortable, a little bit of sheen as well. They also tint the lip, so it's like once it starts to wear away, your lip is stained. Fucking phenomenal, really enjoying them. I would buy more of them, but then I was sent these from Oma, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute, and they are quite similar. I think that Oma's colours are a little bit more interesting, whereas the e.l.f. ones are a little bit more neutral. The Oma ones also have a little bit more of an oil, and I feel are more pigmented as well. So let me just show you them. This is them here. I think they're called It's Complicated. Yeah, It's Complicated Lip Tint, Oil and Gloss. I have 3 of them now. 2 were sent to me in PR, and then I went on to buy one with my own money because I enjoyed them so much. I have the shades Classy, Peng and Yas. Yas is actually in Jack's baby bag, like his nappy bag, and I can't even bother going to get it, so we'll come back to it. Yas is probably the most neutral one. It's a little bit like a neutral pink brown, pinky brown, you know, salmony pink, I suppose. Whereas Peng is like a bright purple pink and Classy is a bright red. But the pigmentation on these is phenomenal. Like you put this on, it's not a stain, it's not like a gloss, but as they wear off, they do become that. But when you first put this on, this is like straight up liquid lip, like full coverage lip. I am so impressed with these. Oh my god, right, I thought it was finished and I've not said anything about mascara. Oh my god. Do I need to say anything? Do I need to say anything? I could stand and tell you about all the mascaras that I've loved over the year, but I think you all know it's going to be the Maybelline Sky High. I've tried the Oma Drama Bomb, I've tried Charlotte Tilbury, I actually have tried another one from Gen C that I really loved. I have a whole video on mascaras, it's here, you can go and check that one out. But this one, as an all-rounder, is my absolute fucking favourite. I adore it. It is my go-to. I think it's so good. It is affordable. It's in the drugstore. It's easily accessible. It is fucking phenomenal for the price and for what it does. I just think it's fantastic. And also, I just realised there I haven't said anything about brows. Last year it was glossy boy brow. This year it's changed. The Schwarzkopf Got To Be. I still love boy brow. I bought another one on Black Friday. I still fucking love it. But the Got To Be from Schwarzkopf, I just adore for every day. Because there's no colour, there's no nothing. It's just like pushing up your brows, keeping them in place. And when you've got dark brows like me, that's all I really need sometimes. But if I want something a little extra, the Gen C Arch Support Brow Powder Gel. It's got a really long name. I actually already had one of these that is now in my empties, and this is a brand spanking new one. So I have got through a whole brow gel from a new brand, which is like, how have I managed it this year? And I've just explored a lot more this year, and that is why this video is so fucking long. And I'm just gonna finish my Baileys right now. And so, that is where we're gonna fucking leave it. That is it, folks. That is it for the year. If you've sat through this video, I salute you. I take my fucking hat off to you. Well done. If you've sat to the end of this video, comment a fucking, what do you call it, the wee monkey hiding his face, see no evil emoji down below, and then we'll just see. I bet you nobody has. I bet you nobody has, because if you have, as I say, you guys are my people. You guys are my people. Anyway, I'm finishing it there. I'm very tired. I'm gonna go and eat some biscuits and cheese now. as you do at Christmas. I hope you're all having a wonderful festive time. There will be more videos to come. This might be the last one of this year though, so I wish you all the wealth, health and happiness in the new year in 2023. I hope everybody gets what they would like. Try not to put too much pressure on yourself, I would say that for a start. Just see what the year brings, and I hope you all have a wonderful one, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.